Hey, hot, sexy listeners. I know you're ready for episode 5. My name is Daniel.
And I'm Nevada. And
And-
this
Is Big in a Small Town, episode 5. So today we're going to be talking about the concept of losing your spark and gaining your spark back. I feel like this is a very big thing in the media where people will show like a highlight reel of look at me losing my spark or look at me gain my spark back. But we're here to talk a little bit about what does it even mean to lose your spark? What is this concept that people hint at that we all kind of know about? And how did we lose our spark and then gain our spark back again?
and also, what is a spark?
And what is a spark?
Is it a physical spark? Is it the light in your eyes? We'll be talking about that today.
It's the light between us. So, here on Big in a Small Town podcast, what we do is we talk about personal growth, living boldly, and how to break the barriers of the environment that surrounds you, however big or small. So basically being as big as you can be, despite how small or trapped or limited you may feel.
Period.
Period. Do you have anything else to add before we get into the sickest and gayest part of the episode?
Oh, yes. We would with the I'm like still waking up. My brain feels so empty. Like I feel so calm. I'm almost like, okay, wait, where are my brain cells?
Right, they're like little satellites up in the space that are not connected to each other.
I'm waiting for them to like
There's no
connect to the
reception,
Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi isn't working in my brain.
It's like all those like satellites that get lost to space, you know? Or they're like trying to explore the moon and then they die and they just kind of get left there.
Yes.
Yeah, those are the brain cells.
Those are my brain cells today. But we wanted to explain a little more about the gay or sick in the head game because we realized that it may not be clicking for some of the straights and maybe even some of the gays out there. I've met some gays who don't know what poppers are.
Okay, so honey baby, for those of you who are a little bit confused about what is gay or sick in the head, here's gay or sick in the head for dummies.
For
dummies like you.
It's okay, Mama. We'll explain it to you. We wanted to explain to each of us what gay or sick in the head means because it means something possibly a little different to each of us.
We've actually never verbalized what does it mean to us. We just kind of knew what the game was.
It really, I don't know when it started. It started sometime last year, and we just started calling like things sick. We were like, that's sick. That's sick in the head.
Yeah, no, it started with that's sick. That's a sickness. Can you believe that he did that? That was sick. And then I remember we were taught there was a situation. I don't even know which situation or if it was multiple situations where we like either one of us was like, that was sick. And then one of us was like, I don't know, was it sick or like, was that just kind of gay?
Yep.
And then we're like, was it sick or was it gay? Is gay a sickness? Is sick gay?
Is being sick gay?
And then we're like, is it gay or is it sick in the head?
And then it became just a game that we play with everything. And we decided to put it on the podcast because we thought it would be fun to play with all of y'all. So what it means for me.
Oh my God, we never talked about this.
Okay, so there's some things that are gay or queer coded that I feel like are both, I don't know, it's kind of like that old saying when people would call things gay and be like, that's gay, and it was kind of an insult. It's almost like the reclamation of the word, like that's gay, but it's like adopting something as your own or just being able to identify like that's gay, but being able to celebrate the fact that it is gay.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah, I feel like it's
Oh yeah, it's like calling something gay and not attaching that meaning to it, that's a bad thing.
Yeah, because it used to be just an insult, but now it's more like, that's gay. Like, oh, I see you and I see that, and that's a little gay. And that's okay. Like, it's okay to be gay. Like, we are in 2026. What the fuck? And then sick in the head, it doesn't mean like we're not bashing anyone for mental illness. Meaning, like, am I crazy? Is that person crazy? Is it an actual like illness, or are you just like literally so crazy that it's like you make yourself sick by doing these types of things? And sometimes there are things that are very specifically gay and sick in the head. And I'll let Daniel go into your part with like the sickness and the gayness.
Okay. So for me, like, I think we talked about this on episode 1, that I knew I was sick in the head before that I knew that I was gay, which is true. But I think so when I think of like Nevada's saying like that's gay, right? Like, we're calling out actions, behaviors, maybe toxic traits or patterns, or joking about some of the possible toxicities of the gay community, but reclaiming it as like a powerful thing that makes gay people unique. So like, it's kind of like calling out specific behaviors that, or attributes that potentially only apply to queer people, or certain specific actions that are like iconic or unique, but also bringing kind of like a casual awareness and conversation to the topic of using the word and calling something gay without making it an insult, and almost making it like an iconic staple piece. Like, you could almost say that something is gay just because it's iconic. Like, oh, that's like so gay. Like, only a gay person would think to do that.
Yes.
Like, not a normal, straight, boring person. Like, only a gay person would wear something like that. Like, something so amazing or whatever. And the sick in the head, I think, can come from like obsession. It can come from a place of like malintent. It can come from a place like, oh God, the sick in the head is sort of like, it's never about really like having a mental illness, but rather like, I think the best way to like give an example is like, let's say okay, you're like the what was that movie with the 2 tennis players and Zendaya? Challengers. Is it gay or sick in the head? Because it's like, are they like,
she was obsessed with tennis.
Like, the obsession is a sickness, right? Like, she loves it so much that
and the boys did too.
That it almost caused sort of like do they have a love for the sport almost to the point that it's unhealthy? Like, where something so innocent and something that you genuinely loved as a kid, for instance, can turn into sort of like this overbearing spiral, right? But then also in the themes, right? Like, is it an obsession with the sport, or an obsession with competition, or are they actually gay for each other? Or are they just sick in the head so much, they're so obsessed with the sport that like the only way that they can let it out is like through like gay acts per se. Oh. So I think that movie and that instance kind of like draws question to the fact of like, would you say that movie is more gay, or would you say it's more sick in the head? And I think it depends on your perception in that moment of, are you more focused on the obsession with the sport, or are you more focused on like the social dynamics between the 3 characters?
Oh yeah, I would say for that movie, it feels sick in the head. Like, I
think it's obsession and sickness driven.
Oh yeah.
But it's not necessarily like a mental illness.
No, yeah, yes.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And so it's not like making fun of anyone, or it's like another like sick in the head example, right? Like crashing out over a situationship, and then like being so upset that it ended, and like blah 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 blah, blah yeah, like there's not necessarily anything wrong with you, but it almost makes you question, like, is there something wrong with me? And so then we're painting light of these two concepts that people shame people for.
Yes.
And making a joke of it and accepting people through their gay rights and their gay wrongs.
Yeah. Thank you. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. I also support gay rights and gay wrongs. I love that.
Is that a good example? That's like a good description of this, no?
Yeah. It's just our descriptions. But we wanted to also tell y'all so you can play with us more, because some of the submissions, they're more of just like non-specific to gay or sick in the head examples. We try to use situations that can be categorized as gay or sick in the head, meaning we really have to like critically think what is gay about this or what is sick in the head about this. And that's kind of why we do the explanations of why we think something's gay versus why we think it's sick in the head. It could be a situation that could lean either way, but it's more so leaning one way, which is why we play the game. So keep that in mind as you hear the examples today. And of course, we're going to break it down for you as usual. So the first one is
and for the record, I've never heard these, so we're both playing the game right now.
We're playing. Is this gay or sick in the head? Staying best friends with your ex and them becoming the auntie or uncle of your child.
Wow. Oh my God. Okay, this is hard because I feel like gay people would and do this. But that is sick.
It's so sick. Like, it's so sick.
Oh my gosh.
And sick as in like, that's fucking crazy. Like, who stays friends with their ex and makes them the freaking auntie and or worse, the godparent of your child? Because I've heard of that too.
Oh my gosh. While the sickness is very much so present, you're only going to find that with gay people. And I think I have to die on that hill. I think that's a gay thing. It's maybe not a very a gay person, but it has to be gay. There's no other way.
It's so gay. But it's
I don't think you could catch a straight person doing that.
Oh, yeah. No. I can't imagine, like... I can't imagine the straight people I know doing that type of shit.
Like, but I can imagine a gay person doing that.
For sure. I've seen it.
Oh God.
That's pretty funny, huh? Okay.
It's bad.
Is this gay or sick in the head? Always wanting to go in the back door and whining and getting upset when you say no. So it would be like a woman saying this.
Oh. I think for me that's a sickness because of how uncomfortable I feel in this current moment.
Yeah.
The whining,
that one was a submission. That one was a submission.
For me, I think that's a sickness. What's leading you? I don't think that's a gay thought. I think that's a sick thought that's leading to that.
Yeah. I have two more. They're really short.
Okay.
I'm also going to bleep out the name of this one. I'm not going
Someone put that?
No, I put that.
Oh, I was like, this is the community that is an agreement. I'm
gonna bleep out the name, but for those of you who obviously couldn't see the name, because I'm gonna bleep out my mouth and bleep out the name, but yeah.
I'm gonna say that this person is, to me, my perception, my reality of this person is gay. But that's my experience.
My experience of
Yeah,
the
what's
person
yeah.
is that he's sick in the head.
My experience was a gay experience.
Oh yeah, we both had experiences with this person, and each of us would categorize him as he would categorize him as gay.
Yeah, I would.
I would categorize this person as sick in the head. I think this is the last one, but breaking up and getting back together over 5 times.
Oh, that's a sickness.
Mm.
For me, that's a sickness. And I'll explain why. I think this, to me, okay, gays are really good about loose connections, messy situationships, getting back together, la da 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 da. But I think it's more general in their behavior. It's not specific to breaking up and getting back together per se. It's just in all the categories. So for me, the breaking up and getting back together 5 times, that to me would be more of a sickness. And I think straight people participate in the sickness too.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that gay people and straight people have in common.
Not knowing to call it quits.
Yeah.
Not knowing when to call it quits.
Yes. Yes. That is something that I think all of our listeners can agree on.
Across the board. Some of y'all.
So for our straighties out there who need the little dummy guideline, this one's for you, you little sickos.
You little sick freaks.
Welcome to the sickness.
And that concludes this episode's
segment
of Gay or Sick in the Head.
We hope that you now understand.
And if you don't, ask us like what could make it more crystal clear, because I'm really
Can
not
I
sure.
make myself more clear?
I think we clocked
I don't think
the definition.
I don't think I could explain this any more ways. Like at this point, if you're not getting it, like
we might have to like release a course on
yeah,
gay and sick in the head.
like you might just have to, yeah.
Also, what do you guys think of gay or sick in the head merch?
Oh my god.
Because I need a hat that says gay and sick in the head.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think I would get a hat that says gay and you would get the one that says sick in the head? Do you think we'd both be gay and sick in the head? Do you think like...
I think we need like a hat that says gay, a hat that says sick in the head, and then a hat that says gay and sick.
Well, of course, but I'm saying like which one...
Oh, which one would we have to wear?
Yeah, like what is my staple hat?
I feel like you're so sick in the head.
Unfortunately, I think I have to put my gay torch down for this one and pick up the sick torch.
Like, is the weight leaning towards sick in the head, or is it leaning towards gay?
Wait. Now this is a good topic. Am I gay or sick in the head?
You were sick in the head before you were gay, but in today's age, are you more gay or more sick in the head? I'd personally say you're still more sick in the head than you are gay.
Yeah.
What about for me?
Maybe that's how I relate so well to straight men. They're like, oh yeah, the sickness. The sickness is appetizing.
That's what
they're like, I would do that too.
That's why
they're like, you're still a man. They're like, whoa, bro.
They relate.
Yeah.
And they build like really close bonds. And also men build really close bonds with other men. Like straight men.
Yeah.
And since you
sick in the head it is.
Anyway.
Which one do you want to wear?
I think I'd also wear the sick in the head.
Oh.
I think if I had to like choose myself, I'm more sick in the head than I am gay.
Okay, so then we can both be sick in the head.
We'll both be sickos.
Yay. See, look at us reclaiming all the things.
Oh, I love that for us. Today's episode, we are talking about finding your spark again. What is it like to get your spark back? What is a spark, and how can one lose it, and how can one bring the light back into their eyes?
Oh, yeah.
I'd say for me, the spark of life that I've felt before is just feeling passion, feeling invigorated, ready to start your day, feeling fulfilled throughout your day-to-day life, just existing, working, doing what it is you need to do. Your spark is that thing that kind of propels you forward and allows you to be happy. I love being happy. I can tell when I'm happy. I feel like I have a spark and a pep in my step. And
I like that.
sometimes when we get involved with life and get dragged through the mundane things, you have a 9 to 5, maybe you're not passionate about your 9 to 5, maybe you hate it, maybe you are not super happy or fulfilled by your relationships in your life, whether it's romantic, familial, or or friendships. There are certain things that can always improve to help you get your spark back if you lose it.
Yeah, for me, I think one of the sparks that I use to feel myself is my inner child.
Yes.
The spark the earliest spark that I can remember, or maybe the most natural spark that I've ever had in my life, which is just like, what and who was I at my innocent and pure self, running around in the world as what like lit me up before I even knew the pressures or the responsibilities of behaving in a society, like the things that kind of corrupt us as human beings, like money, status, power, greed, ego as in like superiority, I would say. And I think that spark is sort of the purpose, the reason why for doing things. I think the spark is the motivation, the ambition, the alignment. I think the spark is what keeps you youthful.
Yes.
I think the spark is what keeps you playful and happy and carefree. And I think the spark is something that people have started to notice is like almost like a abstract or soul-based type of experience, but one that you can almost capture in photographs of people as well. So
Yes.
it's sort of like this abstract spiritual or life fulfillment concept that sometimes is captured through people's facial expressions, the tone of their eyes.
Almost like an aura.
Yes.
Their aura.
Like an aura of
their energy.
Yeah, like an energy, like a spiritual, existential type of energy that is almost like embodied and captured into a physical human being and almost affects your appearance.
Yes. It can. I just keep thinking of like the light back in your eyes, because we were talking about it before the show started, when there's people who do that trend where it's like, oh, people don't think I know ball, and it'll be like getting the light back into your eyes or getting your spark back. And you can see a physical difference in the person's appearance when they are dull and don't have a spark versus when they get their spark back. And it's almost like they just look happier. They look
healthier,
glowing.
Yeah.
Their skin is glowing, their energy. They just look happy, and they don't look like they're dead inside.
Yeah, exactly. It's sort of something that you can see, and it's like almost difficult to name.
Yeah. And for me, I have gone through several periods in my life where I've lost my spark, and I wanted to share what it was like to lose my spark, how I realized my spark was missing, and then what I did to get my spark back. So starting with the first one of what was I doing when I lost my spark. So I think there was a time in my life, kind of recently, but there have been other times in my life where I felt like this, and it's mainly been when I'm in a job that I don't feel super aligned with. I was in a relationship that I didn't feel fulfilled by. We were on different trajectories of our life, and there was something in that relationship that I couldn't pinpoint at the time, but now I just know that it wasn't in alignment with what I wanted. I didn't have great friendships in my life. I moved back to Santa Maria in 2021, like during the pandemic time, like almost a year after the pandemic started. And moving back, I didn't have friends, and I didn't try to make friends because I thought I was going to move away sooner than I am. I mean, I'm still here 5 years later, but at the time I thought I was going to move away very quickly. So I didn't see the point in investing in friendships or trying to make friendships because I almost felt not above being here, but I felt like I just didn't belong here. And I think part of that was fear of failure. I felt like a failure in my life because I wasn't able to do freelance and have a stable job in LA. So then I had to move back home, and that felt like a failure.
Oh, I think that's a big one right there. Ugh. I think it is, like, especially during COVID times, there was a huge wave of people, especially California and the US, where like things started to collapse or jobs started to shut down, and people were also isolated. And so there were so many people who moved back home, and for some people that is like the small part, regardless of the size of the city. But for like us in particular, it's for a lot of our social circles, it was moving back home and moving back to a small town. And that can feel like a huge step back when you're like trying to put yourself out into the world, and you're traveling, or you're like in a big city, and you're, like you said, your industry, right, is more creative and expansive. And then taking a step back and being like, oh, like, I guess I didn't make it.
Yes, that's exactly what it felt like. I feel like I felt small for having to move back to Santa Maria, and I felt like a failure. And at the time I was younger, like I think I was 24, 25. I think I was 24 when I moved back, but I was 24 years old, had to move back home. I was still young. I wasn't super confident in myself. I just felt small for having to move back home, move back in with my parents. I had already been living on my own. I was able to like afford rent until I wasn't, and then moving home just felt out of alignment for me. So there's this job that I'm working, this relationship that I'm in, feeling like it's not worth it to make friends. I even felt like this a couple years after I was living here, is like, is it still worth it to make friends because I'm gonna move? And I'm finally at the point now, today in 2026, where I still know that one day I'm going to move, but I have surrendered, and I'm like, I need connection. I need community.
But I also think that that's a fallacy and a lie that a lot of people have bought into from time to time, including myself, which is that if this is temporary, or if this is not my forever, or maybe I have a dream of a future self for me, then the present is insignificant. And I think a lot of people get trapped in that lie of like, oh, well, one day I'm going to be married, or I want to be married, and right now I'm not. So like, it doesn't really matter who I connect with romantically or who I date. Like, none of that matters to me. Or, oh, I'm only going to be in this city for a short period of time, so therefore, like, I don't really care about this community, and like, this experience is not significant to me. Or I'm only doing this as a interim step into the next step, like an internship. And so therefore, like, this internship like isn't really fulfilling to me, because really it's just a midway point to get to where I really want to go, and then I'll be happy.
Yes. We wait for something. We wait for the future instead of living and being where our feet are presently. Which, I mean, we could go on a whole.
But I just love that you pointed that out, because it ties into it can tie into the spark, because sometimes you can lose your spark along the way thinking that you're on the wrong path, when really like you're just in a transition period. And sometimes like those pivots and turns are part of your natural journey.
Yes.
So like, don't lose your spark over something stupid, and don't take the spark out of your own life just because you feel like something isn't the end destination. That doesn't mean that the present doesn't matter, or that you can't light up your present environment. So
yes,
everything matters.
Everything is important, and everything is part of your journey.
Mm-hmm.
And the spark that I realized I was losing, because there was a point where I realized I was losing my spark. One, there will be physical implications, and there will be energetic / like soul feelings that I was able to identify looking back, that I realized that I was losing my spark. And maybe you have lost your spark and are trying to pinpoint what it literally feels like. So what it felt like for me to lose my spark was I was gaining weight. There was a few years ago where I went through some tough situations in my life, some tough experiences, trauma, otherwise known as the trauma. And I ended up gaining about like 40 pounds after that. And, I mean, everybody goes through traumatic things in their life, but those traumas can make us lose our spark. And one of the physical implications that I lost my spark was my weight gain. I wasn't taking care of myself. I quote unquote let myself go. My skin was breaking out. I was just carrying a lot of stress and just a lot of stress in my life, and I wasn't working out anymore. So I started gaining weight. I was drinking a lot. I was eating a lot. These are coping mechanisms that I would use to to try to almost fill the void and fill that space where the spark was missing. I really self-isolated too. Like I would just spend time alone. I remember.
Why do you self-isolate?
I self-isolated because I hated people seeing me in my vulnerability.
I will just say real briefly, I know this isn't about me, but I self-isolate because it's almost like an embarrassment of I don't like for people to see me down, and I don't want to feel like I'm a burden to other people, and like I'm not in a place where I want to be judged or be like having to be taken care of. So I'd rather you just like not perceive me.
Yes.
Until I'm like in my highlight reel.
Yes. That's what I felt like. If you look on my Instagram, like I barely posted pictures like for there was a couple years there where I was barely posting pictures. I was embarrassed of the way I looked because I gained weight. I wasn't doing much activities with my life. Like I wasn't going on trips and stuff like that. So I self-isolated because of shame and embarrassment. And there is nothing to be in shame or embarrassed about if you are going through a tough time. What I know now and what I would recommend to anybody out there who feels like they're going through that kind of time and are self-isolating is kind of recognize those signs that you are. If people are inviting you out and you don't want to go because of the way you feel or the way you look, which are all really real things. I like one clear example of me losing my spark. I got freaking invited and tickets to go to the motherfucking Barbie world premiere in LA. I got tickets to the movie premiere.
Oh my God, that was such a good movie.
And I didn't freaking go because I felt so embarrassed of how like I looked in my outfit that I got. Like I was so insecure at the time. Like it like honestly looking back, I'm like, Nevada, like I wish I could tell you like you are freaking beautiful. It was during my shaved hair period, but like there's something inside, like I just did not feel like myself. And honestly, like it feels like my heart is like breaking a little bit right now that I felt that way, but it just is, it's how I felt. And it's the honest truth of why I didn't go, because I didn't feel confident in my skin to go out and be part of such a big, spectacular world historical event. Like it just, I lost my spark. So once I kind of realized that my spark was gone. I mean, my spark wasn't gone, but I was like, okay, I'm not living in alignment. I started taking a look at my life and being like, okay, something has to change.
That part hurts. That's the part that fucking sucked for me. Oh, wow. Like, why am I unhappy? And just being like, like,
I'm like,
having to journal about it. Why am I unhappy? And then writing it down and reading it and being like,
I'm really
this
not
is
okay.
my life.
Yeah, realizing that you're not okay and that you want to be somewhere else is both humbling and liberating. It can be both, because it's like you realize like, fuck, I'm not where I want to be, and you can change any day you choose. The decision is yours at any moment in time. You can choose to become someone new, start making different decisions that are more in alignment with the life that you want, and turn things around and get your spark back. So that's what I started to do. I really started to reflect, and I will say I had certain people in my life who were able to support and guide and reflect back to me what I was doing. I've worked with coaches in the past. Daniel is an amazing friend. He has such a great personal growth perspective on him, and he's gone through his own personal growth journey, and we're both going through our journeys like together at the same time, separately and together sometimes. But I have like amazing sisters, amazing friends, so I had the support system there. I just wasn't utilizing them I wasn't utilizing my resources. And there are resources out there. If anyone out there like needs help of where to even start, you can feel free to slide into my DMs. I don't always respond, but sometimes I'm able to respond, and like I love to help people and give advice. And I also have an accountability group coming up for you to support you in reaching your goals, because I know what it's like to go through that journey of like, oh, I have some goals. How do I actually make those dreams and goals a reality? So if you're interested, let me know.
I would highly recommend something like that. I personally, when I was going through a similar kind of journey, I actually got a therapist for how to form goals and how to actually like execute your life path to get the things that you want, instead of sitting in a decision and sitting in like turmoil.
Analysis paralysis.
And honestly, like a support group is a more community based, a more economical based, I would even say, and a more like sisterhood driven base than it is like the teacher student dynamic of therapy sometimes. So I would highly recommend that for anyone who's like feeling these feelings or just like wanting to grow and wanting to change. It's good to be around other people who are there to hold you and not be above you too.
Yes, it's
like it's just a different vibe.
One of the most important things to my personal growth journey was just having people who also wanted more for themselves, or who had been on that journey for themselves already. And I just want to provide space for others to do that. But going back to like what I was doing, taking action in my life to get my spark back, like Daniel said earlier, I started to go a little bit back to the childhood basics. Like, what is it that I like to do? I like to sing. I like to do comedy. I like to act or make content. I've always been a video girl. Ever since I was little, I was making little short films. Daniel's known me since we were young children. Like, I've always been that girl. In high school, I was a film girl. In college, I went to school for film, and it's storytelling and self-expression and creativity have always been a part of my life. I realized when I lost my spark, I wasn't doing those types of activities anymore. Like, I wasn't expressing myself creatively, and I started to implement things in my life where I could express myself creatively. I remember one of the first things I did was go to improv. I always wanted to do an improv class, so I signed up. And I started doing hobbies and activities that brought me joy. Turning to the things that bring joy to your lives will help you so much when it comes to bringing your spark back.
So what about, because when your spark is not there, the joy is not necessarily there. So how do you remember, and how do you start to sometimes force yourself to find those, or to remember those things that bring you joy? Like, you're like, what if you don't even know where to start? Like, how do you pick?
How do you pick?
Like, specifically, how did I go back to your
them?
child, or what did you use to remember who you are?
A easy exercise that you can do to figure this out, and like, this is what helped me, is like, just write down 10 things that you love to do, or 10 things that bring a smile to your face. So that could be hanging out with a friend, it could be going to a new coffee shop, or writing a poem, or going to karaoke. These are things I remember literally writing a list down one time of like things that I like to do. And then look at your life, look at what you're doing every day, and see if those things that bring you joy if you are doing them in your day-to-day life. That's super easy to do. And if you're not doing those things, then schedule, which you're probably not.
If you've lost your spark, you're not. Trust me, you're not doing the things that you actually want to do.
That's what leads to you losing your spark, is you're not doing the things that bring you joy anymore. So start incorporating those joyful moments into your life. Plan a dinner with some friends, or go to a coffee shop. Make a list of 5 coffee shops you want to try. Something that you've always wanted to do but never have done. For a big part of joy for me is novelty. I love new experiences. I love getting to try new things. If you're someone also like that, there's probably something on your to-do list or your bucket list that you've wanted to do for a long time. And maybe you've even told yourself, oh, I don't know if I'll actually be able to do that. You can do anything you want. Anything in this life can be yours. Everything is possible. You just have to choose what it is that you want to do and make a plan. You need to set a goal and make a plan together, or make a plan from there. I keep wanting to like pitch myself, but this is what I do in my accountability group that's coming up in April, is you set a goal and then you make a plan of how to get there. But that's what I did for myself in my life. Was I was like, okay, like I want to go.
Well, since we're going there.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so to our female, gay, or even male audience potentially, who's down to be, if you're down listening to this podcast, you probably would qualify to be in this group. Yeah. Where do you sign up?
You can DM me on Instagram. I'm gonna have a link in my bio, on my personal bio, at Nevada with the _. And if you're interested, just DM me about my accountability group. I'm starting 2 accountability groups in April. So you can, if you have goals or want to get your spark back, DM me about it, and I will give you the information, how to sign up and when the meeting times are. And I would love for you to be a part of it, because truly, like,
I'm just saying, if we're here and like, like, not even for your benefit, like, just if someone's sitting here listening and they're like, actually, no, this is like for me, that you're talking about me right now. Yeah. I think it's just important to do a little side tangent to be like, okay, like, go ahead and do it. Yeah.
If you need extra support, please reach out, because this is something I'm so passionate about, is helping people reach their goals. Like, me and Daniel talk about our goals all the time, and like
pretty much daily.
We'll do like a daily check-in and be like, hey, so how was yesterday? Yeah. I know you're going through this, like, tell me where you are on that. It's great to have a friend like that, but if you don't have friends or people in your life that can support you in that way, that's what I'm here for, and I would love to help support you in getting your spark back. And is there anything else that I haven't added about getting your spark?
I just loved one thing that you did when you were really getting your spark back, which like was a little bit maybe weird to some people, or maybe even a little weird to me, but I was noticing that when you were connecting to your inner spark and you're like, what do I want to do? Like, really taking a look at past you, present you, future you. Who are you? What lights you up? Like, what makes Nevada? Yes. Which I think is another thing about having your spark, is like, what is my inner flame? Like, what is my soul? Like, what is
Mm.
my purpose? What is, like, who am I, kind of thing?
Yes.
Which are very big questions, and maybe not questions we can answer. But one thing that I vividly remember you doing is literally printing out a picture of you as a child that you felt like really embodied and like resembled you, framing it, putting it in your room, and almost like meditating to yourself
I will say
as a child. And I remember thinking, like, I was also connecting to my inner child, and I was like, oh, I love that you're connecting to your inner child. Like, I've been doing this. And that's when I was posting a lot on my Instagram story, that picture of me with like the Superman cape, which you can also find in some of my Instagram if you dig deep enough. But there's some pictures in there of me as a little boy, and that photo for me is my inspiration. And she had hers, but I would write like poems over mine and post it on my Instagram story, which, yes, I'm a soft boy sometimes. Nevada would literally put out a physical picture and put it in a frame by her bedstand. And I was like, are you like praying to yourself or something? Like, what's going on here?
People are like, is that your child? Like, who is that? Like, no, that's me. And so it's so funny because the reason I didn't initially choose to do that, I remember I was in couples therapy at the time with my ex, and our couples therapist recommended that I do inner child work. And I was like, I have no fucking idea what that even means. And my ex literally went to the mantle, grabbed a picture, and put it in front of my face and was like, would you tell little Nevada like the shit that you're telling yourself right now? And I burst into tears, and I was like, no, I would never tell little 5-year-old Nevada, this little girl that I'm looking at this picture with, I would never tell her that she's not good enough. I would never tell her that her dreams are impossible, or that she's ugly, or that she's fat, or that, like, any of the negative self-talk that I was doing. I would never fucking say that to a little girl like that. Who is me? So why am I telling myself now as an adult? Because that little girl still exists in there. Like, we all are soft people. Like, we're all human, and we have these desires and these dreams, and we have that inner child that wants to be free and wants to have fun and express themselves and live fully and authentically. So I highly recommend looking into inner child work if you don't know where to start. I didn't either. I started with getting a picture of myself as a child shoved into my face and asking myself, would I say the inner dialogue out loud to her, which I would say no. And then learning why. Like, why am I telling myself that now? And I think that really helped me realize that I was in such negative self-talk, and when you're in negative self-talk like that, you could lose your spark too. So there's a lot of things that can lead to you losing your spark. I could go on for like a few hours about what it's like to lose your spark and getting it back, but for the sake of time, I'm going to pass the microphone to Daniel so he can share about his journey with his spark.
Yeah, so for me, which ironically enough, I lost my spark through medicine, which is kind of a weird thing to say considering it's what I do for a living, and it's what fuels me now, and it's like what leads to the lifestyle that I have now, and it does not take my spark away anymore. But when I went through medical school, like, that was my limit. The intensity of the classes for the first time in my life actually pushed me in school to feel like I was just a very basic, average type of student. So, like, I never really like felt like I was pushed to my limit. Like, in high school, I was the kid who would do homework for other classes during other classes, like, would not ever study. In college, like, I could cram before a test and still pass. And like, I went to the school that I went to for college was like only 15% of people get A's and only 20% of people get B's. I would always get A's and B's. So I was just like, okay, like, whatever, what's next? But in PA school, the curriculum and the intensity, like, it was like 30 hours of class, 30 hours of studying, and then like going into class and doing clinicals and learning the skills for how to examine patients. and then it was clinical rotations. And I think during the time of PA school, I took 1 day off for 2.5 years.
That's insane.
And I got in trouble for that.
What?
Yeah,
By who?
By my program, because I didn't go in to class 1 day, and I got in trouble. Like, they were so strict with you. It was like, if you don't meet these standards, like, you will be kicked out, and like, you will not make it through this medical program.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you had to get above a 75%. You had to show up consistently to all of your classes. You had to show up to your clinicals in person. Like, you could not call out if your doctor or training preceptor was expecting you to be at the hospital at 3 a.m, like to do an emergency surgery and assist them. You would have to show up, and
That's intense.
they would just slingshot you around, and it was through all of LA County. So like, one day you might be in like Newport Beach, and then the next you may be in like downtown LA, and these places are like, there was one rotation I had to drive 2 hours every day each way, and then do like a 10-hour rotation, and then study after.
Where are you studying? Are you getting like 3 hours of sleep?
This is what I'm saying. Like, sometimes it was so bad. And I think during that time of my life, like, that was also the phase of my life where I did have that like relationship issue. And it kind of felt like during that phase of my life, I had no breathing space or capacity for myself. Like, I felt like I couldn't function. It was almost too hard for me. Like, medical school was almost pushing me to the point where I was like, am I even smart enough to be here? Like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. And during that time, I started losing my spark, because most of my free time, I felt like I was just trying to be above water. And I was spending a lot of that time above water in this relationship that I wasn't very happy with. And I wasn't doing a lot of the things that make me happy. So what are the things that like were keeping me afloat, right? It's like my love for the water, my love for the ocean, fitness, exercise. But during that time, it was like no exercise, no self-love, no journaling, no creative expression, stopped posting on TikTok, stopped posting on Instagram. There's like a 3 or 4 year gap on my social media from that time of my life, because I wasn't doing a lot for myself. I wasn't working out. I gained, which people don't remember. For whatever reason, they're like, you've always been hot. I gained like 50 or 60 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah.
People. It was that much?
Yes.
What?
No, actually, no. It was, no. It was 40 pounds. I'm being crazy right now.
Okay. I was like.
No. I didn't do the math correctly. No, it was like up to 40 pounds. 30, 40 pounds.
Okay.
But I like gained a significant amount of weight. I did not feel like the hot gay guy.
Yeah.
And I woke up one day and I was like, I don't want this relationship. I don't want to be unhealthy. I don't want to feel like a slug. I don't like feel confident in myself. I'm not doing the things that I like. Like, I'm going to cut that out. So what did it look like for me, like realizing that I had lost my spark? It was like me sitting with my hairstylist in LA and her being like, are you okay? She's like, and she was the one who pointed it out to me. She was the first friend I met in LA.
Really?
And she was like, I feel like you're losing yourself. And that shit fucking wrecked me. And from then I started running. Like, I was like, I'm dealing with so much right now. Like, the only thing I'm going to focus on right now is finishing this program and taking care of myself and becoming hot. I was like, I don't have time for anything. So relationship dropped. Like, I stopped spending time with friends and family pretty much, which it wasn't in an isolation or self-hate way, but in a sense of like, I don't care what anybody says. Like, number one, I will finish this program and set out what I said to do, because I have 6 months left. I'm going to change my body. It's not an option. I'm going to spend time in the sun. I'm going to take care of my skin. I'm going to spend time by the beach. I'm going to be outside, and I'm going to swim in the water and like do those natural based things that make me feel better. And when I have a free weekend, I'm going to spend that free weekend being with my friends, doing what I want to do, and being with the people who accept me as I am. And that's what I did. So literally it was running like 10, 13 miles a day, going to the gym, going by myself to a coffee shop, studying. People would ask me, oh, do you want to hang out after class? I'd be like, no. And then I would go to the beach by myself, journal, post pictures, write poems, like do all this self-growth and self-healing stuff. And then anytime that I had a free weekend, I would get on the public transport, go to San Diego, visit my San Diego community who I built during PA school. And that's like my family over there, love San Diego. And I would take the public transport, reconnect with the like people in my community who like loved me so much, and then would come back, spend a little bit of time with my classmates, back to the books. Like, I will pass this stuff and I will get through this period of my life. And so I think for me, like, when my hairstylist at that time, like, she was telling me that I had lost my spark essentially. And I looked in the mirror and I was just like, I don't even know who I am right now. Like, I'm in a relationship that I don't want to be in. I'm in a program that's completely drowning me. I'm not able to take care of myself. I'm anxious and depressed. I'm in this big city feeling like I'm kind of by myself. And who am I? Like, do I even want to be in medical school? Like, is this even what I wanted for my life? And then I graduated school and was kind of like going about my life and was like, oh, I'm gonna live in LA, like I'm gonna make it work, I'm gonna work night shift, I'm gonna build up my career, like I'm gonna make all this money, like this is my purpose. Like, because during all that time, all I did was like work on myself, be better, make more, do more. And then that's what I like continued afterward, until I realized that, like, okay, half my spark has come back now, but what is my actual purpose? And I was going to Mexico at that time, finding purpose in Mexico and feeling so utterly swallowed and lost and aimless in LA. And it led to like this major, deep, sad spiral of comparison, comparing my life to people in Mexico, like who were living more freely than I was, comparing myself to my classmates who had a good relationship or a marriage, comparing myself to people who were doing better than me in school, comparing myself to people in school whose family paid for their education, who didn't have to take out $200,000 of debt to go to medical school.
Must be nice.
Yeah, like I was just like, why did I do this? Like, I can't even afford it. Like, I'm way in over my head. I'm stressed out. I'm working crazy hours. And then I think one day I just snapped, and which people said from the outside, they could never tell that I was like going through what I was going through. But one day I just decided like, this is too much for me. And I moved back home, which is how I made it back to my small town. Was so worried that like it wasn't going to work out for me. But coming back to my small town and reclaiming my life was me building the peace and stability that I needed to move forward and to kind of like reclaim who I am. And I started to pour every bit and ounce. I didn't know where to start. Like, I didn't know what to do. And the only thing I could think of that I could do for myself was like focusing on who I wanted to be, who I was as a kid, and what I wanted my future to look like. And I remember one of the first things I remember embodying about myself is like, when I was a kid, I was a free spirit. I was the kid walking down the aisles of the plane, introducing myself to every person on the plane without a care in the world, making jokes, socializing. What's your name? And I was a very adventurous kid. I was like, there was this big rock wall, and I'm from Utah, and well, born in Utah. There's this big rock wall that no kid had ever climbed up, like below the age of 6 or something. I did it at like 4 years old. And it was like a
King
100 foot like climbing wall. I was like skiing and snowboarding at 4 years old. I never had fear. My parents had to always keep an eye on me because I would just run off by myself. I was like, I can do whatever I want by myself. And along the way, like, I got trapped in fear. And that free spirited, like, go travel, like stay in a hostel, kind of like go out and meet and socialize with the world, be with your community. Like, I got so scared.
What do you think triggered the fear?
I think for me, the fear came from like the feeling that I wasn't good enough, or that like I wouldn't make it. And I was pushing myself so hard to make it that I was running on absolute fumes. And I was so afraid that like I didn't have it in me, that I wasn't mentally strong enough to make it through the program, that I wasn't really as smart as I thought I was. And then with the relationship, I think it was like a double whammy of like that I'm not lovable, that I don't deserve to be treated right, that I don't have like that natural spark in me that I thought that I did to make someone love me enough to want to be with me and treat me the ways that I deserved. And so...
And were those just fears and thoughts in your brain, or like did someone ever, was it physical reality telling you like from the external that made you start believing internally that you weren't good enough, or like that you weren't capable?
I think it was both. Okay. It was like the environment that I put myself into and my internal world responding to that as well. And I decided that while I chose to be in that program, I chose to do what I do, and while like it did break me down, it also built me back up. And I decided to take my own power and be like, well, I'm done with school. I don't have to live in LA. I don't have to be unhappy. I don't have to work night shift. I chose to be in that program, and I went through that time of my life, but now I can choose to do whatever I want. So for me, like I looked back at who I was as a little boy and like how did I have a spark as a little boy, and that for me was so simple. Swimming in the lake. Oh. Dancing under the stars. Laughing, telling jokes, like spending time with my family, spending time with my friends, music, dancing, singing, not caring, being weird and goofy and not caring what anybody thinks about me. Learning. I always loved to learn and read books and talk about my feelings. And I started to do those small things bit by bit. So I replaced the gay, I guess, like, what are those gay parties called? The like
raves?
They're like raves, but for gay people. I started to replace. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know if I do.
I started to replace like the gay scene and the gay culture that the other gay people wanted with who I actually was. So like, okay, all the gay people are in West Hollywood and they're partying 3-4 days in a row. They're going to like these I don't know, meet and greets, and they're city, and they're like big time people, and they like to go to like these kinds of concerts. And I was just like, well, I'm going to go over here to the beach. There's not really a lot of gay people over here by this beach, but you know what? Like, this is me, and I'm going to go swim and float around and journal about my feelings for a couple hours, and you guys enjoy your little gay thing that you're doing over there.
It was almost like your perception of what it meant to be gay was to live in West Hollywood and go to these parties, and to like that being gay meant that you like these things, but along the way you realized, I actually like other things. Like there are other things that bring me joy and give me that spark that I was trying to I was trying to be part of this thing that the world is telling me that brings me joy, but it wasn't. So now I'm gonna like return back to what I want and what brings me specifically, no matter that you're gay. Like being gay is part of your identity, but being gay does not mean certain things. Like there's so much diversity in the queer community as well. Like there are queer people who like the like slow lifestyle, want to find love, go to the beach, be chill. And then there's queers who are like party, gay, like in LA. And you, maybe because you were from a small town, part of that was the idea of being queer in a big city and what that meant.
Yes. I was kidding myself that was the lifestyle that was meant for me, when really like who I am as a person, while I do enjoy a party and like while I do go out and can be crazy and things like that, like my essence of a person is so much more simple and calm than that. And it just, what, like you said, it just wasn't me. And I felt like because I was gay, I had to like be like everyone else
or fit in that box.
Yeah, like I had to be that gay that you would see on TV or like going to drag shows and stuff. And I was like, I don't really care for drag, and I like to go to the gym and lift weights and be hot and do yoga and go to the beach and get dinner with my friends and cry and journal, and maybe I do want to fall in love, and that's what I want. That's whatever. If that's not what people are doing, then I'm just gonna do me, because I think there is a pressure sometimes as being a gay person or even as being a PA to behave a certain way, to like certain things, to look a certain way, and that is just so much inauthenticity when it's not really you.
Oh, I just had this idea because how the world tells us that we need to define ourselves. If we listen to the world constantly, like like the PA culture and having to be so professional at your job and express yourself in a certain way and present and wear these certain masks in places. I remember when I was working and doing that, I felt like I was wearing a mask, and it felt like the world and society was like, in order to succeed, you can't be a creative and make money. You have to have a 9-to-5 job. But that didn't make me happy. And I questioned myself, like, is something wrong with me because this lifestyle that the world is telling me I need to adopt isn't making me happy? But you don't have to listen to what society and culture and the world has created for you, because there is a structure in this world and it is created to benefit certain people, and we don't have to listen. But I just had to say that.
No, it's 1000%. Like the culture of like having to be a gay person in LA and behave a certain way, and then the culture of being a PA and having to be successful and perform and be a professional almost felt like there were two things that were competing, that were both not me, that were just pulling me in two different directions that I did not want to be, and felt like were completely tearing me apart. Like, okay, so on one hand, I need to be this like gay free LA party boy, like who doesn't care what anybody thinks, who doesn't have emotions, doesn't have feelings, just burns through men, dates for no purpose, like just here to have fun, like here for a short time, or like here for a good time, not a long time kind of vibe. And then also I have to be so serious and so professional and put all of my eggs into my career and what I want and who I am a person. Well, fuck that, because you better be there and show up for your patients, not for yourself. And I was like, well, if I have to live my life for other people, like this is, I think I made a mistake going into all this, because I'm $200,000 in debt. I don't even know if I want to be gay. I don't even know if I want to do medicine at this point, if I have to like behave in a such rigid way that controls who I am as a person in work and out of work, that I was like, I'm sorry, I'm not doing this anymore. And so I went back to my roots, and since then I feel like I have been so full of life, and me being full of life has made me so much happier. And I really like used this little picture of me as a boy, like dressed up as Superman, to be like, what inspired me when I was 6 years old as this like genuine, sensitive, spiritual, carefree, laughter-filled, adventure-filled, free-spirited, like unattached, anxiety-free, depression-free little boy. And what did he want? And I think I was just suffocating that version of him to be someone else, when really, when I look back and still reflect on who I am as a person today, I still think that almost all of those small little joys that inspired me at that age of life are still the same things that inspire me at this stage of life. And I think that I just thought that maybe those things were not important, or that like, oh, that was my younger self, or that's too mature, or this or that. But really, like, I have always been who I am.
Yes.
My expression has changed. The way that I portray myself has changed. But my soul essence and how I express myself as a kid is who I am. And I just made that version of myself so small to be somebody else and to fit in to like survive in this world. And for me, what surviving in this world was going through like this program to better my education, to build this life up. And then I got through the other side of it with a ton of debt, realizing I didn't even have control or autonomy over my own life. And I had to come back here to reclaim my finances, to reclaim my autonomy, to be single, to choose who is actually right for me in a partnership, and to reclaim like my spirit and my soul back of what I want to do and what actually fuels me and what actually inspires me and what makes life worth living. And I think like maybe people see the way that we joke or see the way that we live our lives and think like, oh, maybe they haven't been through things. But trust me, like, we have been through loss, death, abandonment, depression, anxiety, like bouts of feeling like of unworthiness, gaining weight, feeling undesirable physically, emotionally, like going through mental spirals and feeling I've felt in my life like too chaotic for other people before.
For sure. I felt like that too.
Like,
I wasn't saying like for sure you've been too chaotic, but
I was going to say, I think that's both of us. We're like, oh, like you're too off the rails or unperfect for my taste.
Too much
for me. And really like the getting your spark back is like abandoning the systems that you're relying on and going back and checklisting. Go for it.
No,
going back and checklisting who you are as a person. Like, okay, who was I as a kid? Like for me, it was what even inspired me to go to medical school to begin with. And it was because I love to help people and I love to be in community. And so then I'm like, well, am I in community? No, I don't even know who my neighbors are. So then I was like, well, no wonder I have conflicting feelings. I have conflicting values of who I am. And so then it was like evaluating, where am I? Literally, realistically, mentally, spiritually, anxiety, depression, mental health wise, and where do I want to be? And who am I, like, without outside expectations and pressures in the middle of all of that? And then how do I tie all of that together to form who I am as a person and what I want for my future? And that's exactly what I'm here to do. That's what I'm doing in my life. I am building a current, present, and future self of who I am. It's growing stronger, and that's even part of what this podcast is sharing that journey and that growth, so that people don't have to feel like, well, like, oh, this is it for me, or, oh, I crashed out over, a relationship, or, oh, I was in this, marriage or this toxic relationship and we got divorced or separated, or, oh, I had a drinking issue, or, oh, I'm in this program and I'm in debt and now like this is it for me, or I'm in this town that I don't want to live in, or I'm feeling small, or, oh, I lost someone who's important to me and now there's just nothing left, and now I am a screwed up, too broken, too ugly, too messy, too anxious, too mentally disturbed, too depressed of a person, that this must just be who I am. And I think that that's kind of the mental trap that people fall into, is you decide who you are and your labels and your identity decide who you are. So if you're constantly telling yourself, I am anxious, I am fat, I am unlovable, I am unworthy, I am depressed, then you feed into that version of yourself that is those things. Yes. It's one thing to go through something hard, to feel unworthy, to feel ugly, to feel anxious, to feel depressed, and to then pivot and change yourself to be lovable, hot, sexy, glowing, ambitious, passionate, beautiful, funny, worthy, because when you decide to be those things, you push for those things until you are those things. And I will say, there was a time in my life I clung so desperately to like oh, I'm so messy, I'm so anxious, I'm so depressed. And now I experience anxiety from time to time, but I am not an anxious person and I don't have anxiety or depression anymore. And it was the reason why I had those things for so long was because I chose to continue to have them. Like,
and you chose that identity too.
And I chose the identity. Like, I chose to embrace that. And
like you were saying, I am depressed instead of saying I experience depression. Because that's kind of the difference between an identity and something that you're experiencing when you choose to keep telling yourself this story of I am this, I am that. You're going to reinforce that identity versus I am a happy person and I'm experiencing some sadness right now. I'm experiencing loneliness. You're just experiencing those things. Those things are passing feelings and emotions, and they're like, this too is going to pass. That doesn't mean you have to carry the weight of that identity.
Yes. And I think something so important about getting your spark back, which helped me, was who are you? And also reminding yourself that you can choose who you are and you can change who you are. And if you were happy at one point of your life, if you were happy and didn't have all these struggles at one time in your life, for 1 year in your life, for 1 month, for 5 years of your life,
for a moment,
who were you during that time? What were you doing? What fueled you and what allowed you to feel the way that you were feeling, and become that person again?
Mic drop. That's
how you do
key.
it. That's how you do it. I don't believe that there is a person in this world that has like never had a good day.
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
I mean, if you're listening to this podcast, you're probably privileged enough to live with some choices. Like you have access to a phone or a television or a computer to watch this. Like we all have the ability and capacity to change our life around and to experience joy. And there has to be a moment in your life. And if there is any possible way that you haven't had joy in your life, think of something new. Like you need to get into a new environment. That honestly would be the one factor that could hinder really you never experiencing joy, is if you've been in the same environment your entire life, surrounded by the same people, surrounded by the same thing. And if it's all the same, you just need to change your environment. Go somewhere new. Like either you need to move out, go to a new place, maybe move to a new city, change your environment, because the environment is really impacting how you experience life as well.
That part is so crucial. I think while it's so important to make the best of your current situation, to be in the present and to live your life on a day-to-day basis, loving who you are, there is something to be said that the environment that surrounds you does impact you. And even I remember like I was having a really hard time in LA. I was like, I'm not this type of person. Like I'm not making friends here. Like how is it that I have 30 friends that I would consider to be close friends in San Diego and 3 close friends in LA when I lived in LA for 4 years, but I never lived in San Diego?
Yeah.
Explain that to me. It was because it's not a place where I'm meant to be, and it's not a place where I connect easily, and I can choose to not be there.
Yeah. And at the same time, like I will say, because I've been in Santa Maria for the past 5 years and my environment hasn't changed much, but one specific environment change that really helped me was creating a creative studio for myself. I live with my parents and they have an extra bedroom that I was, when I moved back in, I was like, I'll move back in if you guys let me use a bedroom as like a creative studio and office space. And they're like, sure. So I moved back, and for the first probably year that I lived back at home, I did not even go into the office space. I had just a bunch of junk in here. Like, it was not set up. And now it's literally a beautiful, like, lively space where I feel at home. Like, I feel like I can create and be myself. I have my little couch. I have my bookshelf, the calendar. Like, we use it as our podcast studio. It feels like a different place, but this environment allows me to be able to create, which is something that brings me joy and has significantly brought my spark back. Like, I am fucking thriving. I love it.
And I love that you brought in like like a more pinpoint example of like of you changing your environment without you changing your environment.
Without
like,
me changing my location.
Yeah, you're in the same location, the same environment, the same town, still experiencing a lot of the same burdens, struggles, whatnot. But yet you chose to cultivate your own environment within one bedroom.
Yes, even my own personal bedroom. Like, I changed the sheets, I changed the bedding, especially when me and my ex broke up. I was like, I'm depressed. I need to change up this space. And I just like reorganized. Like, it could be as simple as that for changing your environment to help with your spark. Okay, I'm good.
I would say there's going to be two types of people listening to this, the people who have their spark and the people who don't. And for the people who have their spark, congratulations. Keep doing what you're doing and do more of it. Light that spark on so big that you explode. Like, I know that, like, for some of you listening to this, like, you're going to be like, hell yeah. Like, it's going to be an empowering feeling knowing that you did claim your spark back, because most people have lost it at one point or another. And
Yes.
I'm proud of you for getting it back. And for those of you who are thinking like, wait, have I lost my spark? Like, am I in alignment? Has the light gone out of my eyes and I don't even know it? Because trust me, there was a good 2 years that I didn't even know the light had gone out of my eyes.
Or maybe you're realizing it while listening to this podcast. Like, damn, maybe I don't have my spark. Maybe I'm not doing anything that I like to do, and I'm just living my day without a direction.
My encouragement and like the practical thing that I would say to you, like, to be the big person in your small town, to be like the big person in your own life, to be the big person in your own body, in your own environment, is to take a look and just start to do one small thing a day and start to change one activity or one belief or one day-to-day thing that you do that you can make better and more you. You can change, even if it's going to the gym. I used to love going to the gym and now I don't. Go and get a gym membership. That's one easy thing that you can do today. Or I don't like the neighborhood that I live in. Well, then start to take control of your life and look at where are neighborhoods that I can live in that I like, and do it. Because like one time I was struggling with this and someone didn't even know that he knew that I was struggling with it, but I never even told him anything that I was going through. And he said to me, in life, you're going down the road, and if you realize that you don't like where you're going, you can make a left turn or a right turn. And he said, but it's important that you make that turn and that you make that choice. And he said, because even if you make a turn and you're not so sure of it and you go down the road, sometimes it will lead you to a beautiful place, and other times it will lead you down the wrong path, right? And he said, but the good thing is if you make a left turn, you make a left turn, and you make a left turn again, you'll end up right back where you started.
Yeah.
And so he said that as long as you're moving and making choices for yourself, you can always return back to home and you can always return back to yourself. And so just make that choice. Why?
The choice is yours.
Just do it.
I love that. The choice is literally yours. Any day, any moment, you can change what you're doing, make a new decision. And
yeah, it's like having the same radio station on and being like, I don't like this song. Well, I mean, turn the radio off, change the station.
you keep listening to
or
it.
you can just sit there, keep listening and saying, why is my life the way that it is?
Your life can change. You hold the power.
Miss Nevada.
Yeah, I think we've covered a lot. I don't even have anything to add. I think I'll just say the last thing is you can always get your spark back. One last piece that I'd like to add, if you need somewhere to start of where to find joy, or even if you're someone who already has the spark and wants to make your life even better, no matter what, I encourage everybody to write a gratitude list every day. You can write one thing, you can write 3 things, 20 things that you're grateful for, focusing on the positive and focusing on the things that you are thankful for that bring you joy. It's going to create more joy in your life. And that's one of the easiest things you can do to help you get your spark back. And other than that, thank you so much for joining us today. We hope you got something out of our stories and our advice. And don't forget to follow our podcast on Spotify and Apple, and subscribe to our podcast on YouTube for more podcasts. And tell us what you like, or what you'd like to see more of.
Yeah, we love you guys here on Big in a Small Town. We're rooting for you. We're your number one biggest fan, okay? And we want to hear what you think is gay and sick in the head. Continue to send us your sickness and your gayness. And also, thanks for being here with us in this journey. We look forward to seeing you soon. Go ahead and follow us too on our personals.
Yes. I'm at Nevada with an underscore.
And I am at Danny with a Y _Blackie with an IE.
And one more time, this has been Big in a Small Town podcast. I'm Nevada Gibson.
I'm Daniel Black.
Thanks for listening. Oh, that was such a good outro.